Okay, hello and welcome everyone who have joined this live session. Let me introduce myself first because this is the first live session that we are having for this course. I am Debarshi. I teach economics at the HSS department at Indian Institute of Technology, Guwahati. So this course is a course of NPTEL, as you might be knowing. This course is an online course, and we are going to have some tests at the end of the course. I think the tests will be conducted in November or October. I have forgotten which one. Uh, yeah, the end test will be on 2nd of November, and but the course will end in October itself. So you'll have some time to prepare. And during the course, during the going on of the course, there will be assignments, and I think some assignments have been already given to you, right? So some assignments have been given, and we are going to have some more assignments every week. There will be some assignments, and the assignments will be marked. Um, so this is a 12-week course, as you might be knowing. So it's a 12-week long course. That means about 3 months. And the course is about the applications of mathematics in the subject of economics. Um, so it is basically at the meeting point, at the convergence of these two subjects. One is economics, and the other is mathematics, right? Now, those who have already attended, I mean, who have registered for this course, uh, by now they have understood, I guess, that a lot of you know tools of mathematics, such as functions, the idea of functions, or sets, or differential calculus, are used in economics. Those are the topics that we have covered so far. There will be more such topics that we will be covering in the coming weeks. Um, for example, optimization. Now, this is some of you who have done your +2 level mathematics. They know that there is something called, maximization or minimization of functions. That is called optimization. Um, and there could be functions of a single variable. There could be functions of more than one variable. So those things are, again, you know, they have found their applications in economics, right? So to give you an example, suppose there is a producer, right? Let us say producer of shoes. And what is the purpose of a shoe producer? Probably he wants to get as much profit as possible. So basically, he wants to maximize something. In this case, it is profit, right? So now we are from the economics point of view, we have to convert that problem of the producer into a tractable mathematical problem, right? If we can define a function which reflects the profit of the producer, and then in a proper mathematical sense, I mean, there should not be any, scope for vagueness here. Precisely a mathematical function, a well-behaved function, maybe a continuous function, differentiable function. Then the problem is how the producer, know how does he know at what point he will produce, how much shoes he will produce so as to maximize his profit. But since we are going to teach the techniques of optimization, now the problem becomes easy. If you know how to maximize a function with respect to a variable, you can, as an economist, you can just advise that producer, look, you have to produce, let us say, 200 units of, pair of shoes. At that 200, your profit function is, reaching a maximum peak. So that sort of thing, right? So these optimization things are going to be covered in the coming weeks. Right now, so far, 5 weeks stuff have been shared with you. I think 6 weeks, but the sixth installment has been shared only recently. So if you have any questions or doubts regarding the areas that you have covered till the fifth week, then you can ask me questions, or if you want to ask me about this course as such in general, what is the scope of this course, right? At which level this course is being addressed. So those sort of questions regarding the overall scope of this course. If you want to ask me, you can, the YouTube channel is also open. You can type your question there. So I'll try to address those questions. Okay, let me check the YouTube channel. Someone called ABCD has written, good afternoon, sir. Can you please suggest any resources that you know other than the assignments, which will have a similar pattern and a level like the final exam? Okay, like the final exam, I think that is your main concern, right? That is the main aim, that you want to prepare for the final exam. Now, besides assignments, obviously, as I mentioned in the first lecture itself, if you have noticed, I have shared with you some books. I mean, the names of some books. Let me. The most important book is this one, Sitsetter and Hammond. Let me show this to you, the physical form of this book. I've got it with me itself. So this is the book. Yeah. So it's coming in a reverse manner, but it's there. I mean, if you just look at the first video of this course, you will find a list of books that I have shared with you. So those I'll consider as my resources, right? By resources, I mean books primarily. Now those books could be hard copy books, but you can of course get the soft copy versions of those books as well from internet or wherever. So this book that I just showed to you, if you go back to the first lecture, the reference is this. Sitsetter and Hammond, those are the two authors of this book. The name of the book is Mathematics for Economics and Economic Analysis. Let me repeat, Mathematics for Economic Analysis, a first edition. It was published in India. It's a foreign book, but it was published in India. Yeah, the Indian edition came out in 2002. Okay, this is the first edition. This is a thick book. Um, uh, but there is another version of the book, which is a shorter version by the same set of authors. So that means the authors are the same, Sitsetter and Hammond, and there is another third author added to that. So Sitsetter, Hammond, and Strom, right? So now it's three author team, and the name of this book is Essential Mathematics for Economic Analysis. And I'm talking about the fourth edition, and this is a foreign edition, fourth edition, foreign edition. It was published from the Prentice Hall 2012, right? So So these are the two main books that I have been following, the main text of this course. Apart from that, Alpha C Chiang, Alpha C, that is A C Chiang, Chiang, Chiang. And the name of that book is Fundamental Methods of Mathematical Economics. It's an old book, third edition. I'm talking about the third edition, 2000, sorry, 1984. So it's a book of the last century. So I pay attention to the edition because in the latter editions, the content of the book goes on changing. So when I refer to a book, I'll definitely mention the edition, right? On the in those particular editions, you will get the content that is being covered in this course. And there is another book, fourth book, by Simon and Bloom. This is a little bit tough, higher level book, and Indian edition is Mathematics for Economists. Mathematics for Economists, and this is first edition, Viva Books. That is the name of the publisher, Viva Books, and this is 2018, right? So these are the main books, if you want to call them resources, they are resources that I have used to design this course. So if I have used these books to design the course, that means in the final exam, the questions that you are likely to face, all right? The questions that you are going to face or are likely to face um, will be things which will be covered uh, these books, especially the first two, right? Just need to go back to the first. Uh, you need to go back to the first lecture of mine, and you will find one slide because I have been teaching through the PowerPoint slides. In one slide, I have written down the books that have been relied upon to prepare this course, right? So many of the questions that are being asked here in the assignments or in the final exam will be connected to what is being taught in these books. But I should also mention something which is important, that I do not do a copy paste job, right? It's not that I lift a particular question from the book and just, you know, uh, just like that, without making many changes, I put that in the question paper. I don't do that. I try to make it a little bit more, twisted, because if it is as it is in the book, then it becomes a little bit easier for the student to answer, right? So I try to make the question a little bit different from that is there in the book. The idea is the same, the concepts are same, just maybe I change the number a bit, right? And one more thing is important, that since these are foreign books, so the context of the questions of these books are also, of foreign countries, right? So but we are talking about India. I am an Indian and most of the students are Indians. So instead of, let us say, pound and dollar, I need to talk about rupees, right? Instead of miles, we need to talk about kilometers. So the Indian context has to be there. Otherwise, it will be difficult for the students to maybe understand the context. So I make those changes also, subtle changes. So, so to answer your question in brief, you need to read these books. The books are not very difficult to read. If if you have had +2 mathematics, I don't think it will be very difficult for you to understand the content, at least those parts that we have covered so far. It won't be very difficult to understand the books at all, right? So it should not be a big problem. And some person has asked me about the pattern of the questions. I think in the discussion forum, someone had asked that what will be the pattern of the questions in the final exam. So in the final exam, it's going to be 100 marks question, right? And all the questions will be MCQ. So you don't have to write anything. It will be completely online, computer based, right? MCQ questions. Um, so a 100 mark question means what? There, each question will have 2 marks, which means 50 questions will be there. So 50 questions, 100 marks. Each question carries 2 marks. That does not mean that the questions are completely, different. I mean, isolated. One question does not have to do with another question. It's not like that. It might happen that 2 or 3 questions are clubbed together. So I first describe something, and from that description, then I ask one, two, three. So that way, 3 questions are like interlinked, right? Um, and each of these questions will have 2 marks. But those will be like few. Most of the questions, maybe 40 out of 50 will be like independent questions, and maybe 10 out of 50 will be like, small groups. So that is the pattern. And anything more? Yes, another thing is that NPTEL makes it a rule, and we need to follow that rule. Is that the questions, that 50 questions that are going to be there in the final exam, some of them could be from the assignments. Not all, obviously not all. Then you know all the questions. It's some of them, a part of that will be from the assignments. So be careful about the assignments also, because a few of them could be, asked in the final exam. And also there is another sort of requirement, which is that some of the questions could be from the videos, right? Videos means, all these course videos that are uploaded on the website. There I have discussed questions also. I have solved questions also, right, in those videos. So some of the questions in the final could be from the discussion in the videos. So these two things you need to remember. And obviously there will be a lot of questions in the assignments not there in the video. Those are like new questions, and those will be like more challenging because you have never seen them before. So that is all I had to say about the pattern. Mm. Okay, Mohit Varma has asked another question. The problem with YouTube is that I cannot see the complete question. A part of it is getting blurred. Okay, let me try to understand what he's saying. Good afternoon, sir. Sir, my query is that the course Mathematics for Economics is much same like syllabus of plus two maths, but the portion I don't understand economics, and then I cannot read what is written there. Yes, I mean that is the whole purpose of this online course. Had it been ditto copy of what you have learned in plus two mathematics, then what is the point of this course? So those of you who had plus two mathematics, they will find a lot of stuff, techniques, right? Techniques, mathematical techniques, which were there in plus two. Now, what is extra? The extra is we are utilizing those mathematical techniques in the context of economics. And that is, I think, the challenging thing for you. You might have had plus two mathematics, so you know how to do optimization, but that was in a context of a pure mathematical course where the economic context was not there. So the extra thing this course, this present online course brings to you is think about the economic problems, and after understanding the economic problems, that understanding is important, right? If you follow the lectures, I have tried my best to make you understand the economics of it, because if you don't understand the economics, then you'll not be able to do those mathematical problems, because the context will be missing, right? So there is some economic problem, like the thing that I mentioned to you, profit maximization, right? A producer wants to maximize his or her profit. So what should he do, right? So that problem, now you have to, as an economist, you have to transform this problem, that economics problem, into a purely mathematical problem, like plus two, what you learned in plus two, optimizing some function. Now, once that is done, then the last part is just execution, right? Execution you should be able to do if you have had a good training of mathematics in plus two, right? So after execution is done, you have got the result. Now the problem does not end there actually. After you have got the result, then the question could be that how do you interpret that result that you have got in economic terms, right? What does it mean in terms of economics, the result that you have got? Suppose you have got Q is equal to 3.5 or 7.9, right? Then then lastly, you have to then go to that producer who has employed you. You are an economist. You have to go to that producer and make him understand, look, you have to do this. This is the solution that I've got through my mathematics. Now to implement, as a producer, you have to implement that solution. And uh, he doesn't understand mathematics. He understands economics, maybe through his, through his experience of running the firm. He understands that much. Now you have to make him understand what does Q is equal to 3.5 that means. So this is basically the idea. So only plus two mathematics will not do. You have to understand the economics and then connect these two. That is basically the challenging part. And then you have to interpret the result also, right? The questions, if you have done the assignments, and in the final exam also, you'll see that what does the solution mean? That is also important. So that understanding of yours will be tested as well. Any more questions or queries, comments? Okay, Mohit, I think Mohit is satisfied. Mohit has said thanks. So hopefully I've been able to uh, answer Mohit's question. So let us wait for 1 or 2 minutes, then I think we can call it a day. So far, what you have seen till the fifth week or sixth week is basically functions and sets and differentiation, right? Now, um, now differentiation, of course, some of you have done this in plus two level, so they know how to do how to do the differentiation. I think what you need to pay attention to in this course is the meaning of differentiation, right? Meaning of differentiation in intuitive terms, that it is the rate of change of one variable with respect to another, right? And then we talk about elasticities. Elasticities also is related to change of one thing with respect to another, and elasticities are used in economics. For example, we say some good have a high price elasticity of demand, some good has high income elasticity of demand, right? So people say if you have something like rice or wheat, salt, those are necessary goods, and people say that they have very low price elasticity, right? Now this elasticity idea is something related to change of one thing with respect to another thing, right? Change of the dependent variable on the independent variable. It is like differentiation, but not exactly. So those are the subtle things. Those are the minute things, minor things that I think as a student of economics one should pay attention. The differentiation is something, change of y with respect to x. But is it the same thing as elasticity that the economists use? Not really. So what is the difference? And suppose some producer again asks you, you are an economist, he asks you, suppose I want to increase my revenue. Revenue means total amount of money that he gets by selling his good. That is called revenue. I want to increase my revenue. What should I do? Should I raise the price? Will that increase my revenue? Or should I reduce the price? Will that increase my revenue? Because on both ways there are some reasons uh, why changing the price can increase the revenue. If you increase the price, then per unit you are going to get more money. But will that necessarily lead to change in the total revenue that the producer is going to get, right? Uh, Someone might say the counter thing that, well, reduce the price. If you reduce the price, yes, for one unit you are going to get less money, but maybe the customers will buy more units since you are reducing the price. So what will be your answer to that? This has something to do with the differentiation, because here also price is changing, and that might affect the quantity that the customers are buying. So we are talking about response of y with respect to x, right? So here you see those ideas of differentiation are relevant, but how exactly to apply that? Hmm? So that is what economics tells us, that yes, there are these mathematical tools, but how exactly we can use it to make it useful for day-to-day transaction, day-to-day operations of businesses, right? Not only businesses, even for an ordinary customer, ordinary buyer, he wants to maximize maybe some what is called utility, right? We talked about this utility idea in this course, or maybe it will come in the later lectures. Utility means satisfaction, how satisfied I am by buying goods. Suppose I am very thirsty, so I go and eat an ice cream. So that gives me satisfaction. But how much ice cream shall I buy? Right? Then it becomes an economics problem. And we can solve this economics problem through mathematics, right? So that is how mathematics makes an entry into solving economic problems. And that is why this course is being offered. To give you an idea, many of you did not have any, I think, economics background, but maybe you had mathematics. So this course is a nice way for you to understand that, look, I have known such certain techniques. I am familiar with them at least, right? Now, how to use those techniques to understand how to solve economic problems, right? So that is basically the idea. Um, okay, Mohit has asked another question. What happens if we fail in the exam? I think that's what he has written. The certificate is not generated for this exam. Oh, that's a technical question. Actually, I do not know the answer for that. if anybody from the organizers know, this is a technical question. I don't know the answer of that. If someone fails in the exam, then will he get the certificate or not? That I don't know. But I think failing means getting less than a certain number, right? Maybe, I don't know, maybe less than 30 out of 100, something like that. So if someone gets less than 30 out of 100, does he get the certificate or not? I don't know. If someone knows, uh, then in the people who have organized this interface, this live session, he can just type that out in answer to Mohit. Okay, I think we are not. So ABCD has asked, "Are you an IITian? Did you have any other interests other than economics?" By IITian, I think you mean whether I was a student of any IIT. No, I am from economics background. Economics is not generally taught in IITs. These days, some IITs have started to offer economics honors courses. But in our time, IITs did not have economics. And so there are some other well-known colleges and universities in India which offer undergraduate economics course and masters and PhD also. So I've been through that background. So that way I'm not an IITian. Did you have any other interest other than economics? Yes, I have a lot of interests other than economics. I like mathematics also, the the little bit of mathematics that I understand. And if you yeah, I am interested in political economy also, which is like interface of economics and politics. Okay, ABCD says that all the assignments were easy to understand. Good. Lectures were easy to understand. Assignments have been easy so far. Today's assignment was most challenging. Today means I think week six assignment, I guess. Uh, yeah, I mean, it might get tougher for some weeks. It might get easier for some weeks. I don't know. We have already made all the assignments and we are going to upload them one by one. But I guess, and this is natural, that um, when you start a course, you start from scratch, right? And then slowly it builds up. And so, therefore, it is natural to expect that initially the level of difficulty will be not that much, but later on it will rise a little bit, right? Um, so someone has just said, I think Mohit has mentioned that most of the things are like plus two maths, true. And but towards the end of this course, you'll find there is some topics which are have not been covered in your plus two maths. For example, difference equations. Differential equation you may have seen in your plus two maths. I don't know if it was there in your syllabus. Um, yes, it might be there. I don't know. But difference equation is something else. So that is a new topic. So since it's a new topic, you might have more difficulty to grasp grasp the difference equation part, right? So that is how it works. Okay, can we call it a day since we are not getting any new questions? Hello, organizer. Yes, can we call it a day because we have not receiving any new questions. Okay, thank you then. Thank you so much for joining and for your questions. Thank you.